the only way to start your day. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
How's everybody doing this morning? And of course, I'm giving a hug right there to the general of the ODM party. She's here with us this morning, Karibuni Sana Kilamtu. Thank you for being here with us this morning as we get into conversations. It's 8 minutes past 9 o'clock. And yes, salams and salutations round. We get into a conversation this hour, another one necessary for us to do. And you've seen her even before you've heard her. And before I tell you that, do you have a bit of a headache? Are you feeling a certain type of way this morning? Well, don't ask that guy that you normally search for. What we need you to do today is not search your symptoms. Find a trusted healthcare provider near you. The Aga Khan University Hospital has brought specialized world-class care to your neighborhood. Our conveniently located clinics offer specialist clinics, diagnostics and pharmacy services, ensuring you and your family receive the best. So from cardiologists to pediatricians, gynecologists, family physicians, surgeons, diabetologists, gastroenterologists, neurologists, and I can never say that word right, but that one that Seto says right. But we've so far learned properly now that this is the specialist that deals with your lungs.
Yes.
Okay. So you can find all of this near you. And so our friends on Gong Road and its environs, we've got you covered. Medical centers at the following locations: Prestige Plaza, Valley Arcade Shopping Center, Bina Complex in Karen, Timor, and Gong Town. So visit any Aga Khan University Hospital Medical Center in your hood today or call 0730-011-888. The Aga Khan University Hospital, world-class care here and now. Karibu Sana. All right, so into the final hour of our conversations this morning, and joining us in the hot seat of the Situation Room this morning is Catherine Omanyo. She is the Busia Woman Rep and the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Sure.
Yes, we've been busy the whole weekend.
Yes.
We are creating or causing a resurgence within the youths.
Okay.
We have to make them be in charge of making or building the government they want.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure we're going to get into more details of that. It's your first time in the hot seat of the Situation Room. So thank you for doing this with us this morning. One of the things that we do every week, we go to a different African country. We come back from that country with its proverbs. And then we give you the awesome task of then interpreting what that is. Dennis will share where we are this week.
Today we are in Equatorial Guinea. The President Teodoro Obiang Nguema has been in power for 47 years. That is since 1979. Now, when you talk about the country, two things. It's a very wealthy country because they have oil deposits that they mine and they use that, right? The problem is they do not process it. Goes out of the country, then comes back. They're also a country that stands out because it is the only African country that speaks Spanish. So they speak Spanish, French, and Portuguese, and that has helped them in terms of diplomatic circles because they're able to engage with the rest of the world. Let's go to the proverb. He who listens builds a house. He who talks tears it down.
Yes.
How would you interpret it?
People who listen, they gather all information from everybody, young, old, and that information can help them see clearly if they were going to make a blunder or if they are in line, and the silent majority or the other ones, the other side, whatever they are going to do is okay with majority of the people. And people who talk without listening.
Act.
Yes. They talk, yes, but then what direction? They will be on either side of the spectrum, just being on rooftops, being loud, yes, but they are empty most of the time.
Okay.
That's how well interpreted.
I would say so too.
Empty devils make too much noise.
Loudest. Yeah.
That's true, and I guess we can make a hop, skip, and a jump from that to the broad-based promise, which is the conversation that we're having this morning. There's a lot of things that are coming through. Governance is supposed to be then activated for the people at large. And what we have seen is conversations about how few people will benefit. Let's look at the broad-based promise. What is...
What do you mean few?
Well, when you talk about zoning, what are we talking about? Well, we'll get into that in just a minute. Okay. The broad-based promise, from your understanding as Secretary General of the ODM, which, by the way, is that an acting position or is that a firm position? According to the ODM constitution and what happened. Is that acting or are you the Secretary General of ODM?
I am the Secretary General of ODM, the biggest party in East and Central Africa.
All right.
Yes.
So for the purposes of this conversation, that has been established. So from your understanding, the broad-based promise, we're not necessarily talking about what the broad-based promise is for Kenyans, but what was the broad-based promise for the parties that entered into this agreement?
First of all, many people are lazy in thinking. If Baba, before his demise, if he decided to take any action, it was for everybody, not himself. He was never egocentric. Walking in that platform to negotiate was good for all of us because where the country was headed, we would be living in a forest somewhere or seeking asylum or in those tents I see in Dadaab. So he went in to calm the situation, and that is why we are here today enjoying the comfort places we are in right now. Now, broad-based was meant to make devolution profound. Many times we had leaders in this nation who focused in developing their regions only. But Baba asked us, younger politicians, to defend devolution. Why? If I went to Turkana today, or Busia, where I come from, I shouldn't suffer if I wanted to fly out of my town to go to another place. If there is an airstrip in Muranga or Nyeri, why shouldn't we have it in Busia? If we have good hospitals in Eldoret, why should I miss the same in Busia? So Baba went in to make sure that devolution is not just theory, but is pragmatically felt across the country. Going into broad-based again, when Baba left us, I heard some youth saying that the Constitution has died. It hasn't. It is us, especially ODM. I describe ODM as the conscience of the Constitution. Many times when we went for maandamano, many people would describe it as a holiday or something like that. Even recently, people are saying we miss Baba for these extra holidays that Baba used to create. But it wasn't really that. It was whenever Baba could say something, he had seen what we haven't. And he would up his game by saying, together we can, let us hold hands, go in the street to stop this nonsense or to make sure that it happens. So broad-based people have made it sound like a selfish thing.
Broad-based people? Who are broad-based people?
It wasn't for selfish gains. It was to bring sobriety. It was to make sure that the government does not belong to few.
Okay.
It belongs to all of us. If we left it just to Ruto and the Gashagwas of those days, we would be no more. So I'm
sorry, I just need some clarification on that, SG. If you left what to President Ruto and Gachagua? If you left the government just to William Ruto, we would not have anything to hold on to? Is that what you're saying?
Gachagua.
Oh, so Ruto is out of it now?
Ruto is okay.
Is that saying
He reached out.
Okay.
A good leader, you don't chest thump and say, "Oh, I have it all. I know it all. I'm in charge." But he reached out to Baba, and that's a sign of a leader who is very strong. Some people think if you reach out for help, you are weak. No, Ruto is a very strong president. So reaching out to Baba, he needed guidance. He needed wisdom, how to handle the situation. And he was burning. You know, sometimes you can have a partner who is eating your nerves every day. You give them more time maybe to change, to think again, to be part of a solution. But the person is insensitive. So he reached out for help, for advice, and Baba went in. So to me, broad-based comes in as a strength, as a positive gesture for all Kenyans.
Yes. One would ask the question, let's look at the broad-based agreement and the 10-point agenda that were in that, right?
Yeah.
So you look at, let me just go through them. So full implementation of NADCO report. There's inclusivity in all spaces of life, protecting and strengthening devolution, economic investment. Young people must be mainstreamed, leadership and integrity, the right to peaceful assembly and compensation of all pending claims of human rights, national debt, that is urgent audit of how much has been borrowed and how it has been used, fight against corruption, stopping wastage of public resources, protecting sovereignty of the people. Of all the 10 points under broad-based, what has been achieved? What's there to show?
A lot. Actually, many people wanted the 10-point agenda to happen in a day. You sleep and wake up the next day and we have it all. No, it's progressive. Looking at where our country is, I think we have achieved a lot. One, just the other day, maandamano, it was so peaceful. It was peaceful.
But
we don't have people, counting bodies and, saying we were not allowed or the way it used to be.
But you see, you talk about Mandamana, and I think it's great that you've gone there. But you remember, Broad-Based was formed after 2024, the anti-finance bill protest, right?
Yeah.
But in 2025, a year later, after formation of Broad-Based, over 60 Kenyans were killed under the government that is Broad-Based. How then do you speak of what Broad-Based intended to achieve, extrajudicial killings stopping, yet we see that happening in the union that is Broad-Based? Has Broad-Based failed based off that specific agenda of extrajudicial killings ending?
That's why I said it's progressive. I'm a teacher. You can be in class and teach and think that everybody understood, only to come back and as a teacher, you go back to revision. When Baba came up with President Ruto to do this, they actually had some boxes to tick. And like I've said, even though a few other things have happened that are not palatable, I still think there is some progress. And you have witnessed the president going around the country, launching many projects. Where I come from, in Busia, we didn't even have an airstrip. We didn't have a stadium. Yet, if you look at Busia properly, Busia should be Nairobi.
Do you have an airstrip and a stadium now in Busia?
Now they have launched.
No, I'm sorry.
The
Do you now
on
have
site.
okay.
You cannot construct an airstrip in a week or 2 weeks.
But I need to understand something so that we also don't go to a place whereby we run away from the issues. These things that you talk about, whereby they could be agents of development, one must ask, were they the stipulations that were put into that 10-point agenda? Because there were 10. The first one being the full implementation of the NADCO report. That was the first one, which on its own was an extensive report and things that had to be done. But what we hear is that there is travel around the country and that there is the launching of projects, which if you look at the 10-point agenda, that doesn't show up.
Remember?
In number 1, 2, 3, 4,
10.
or 5.
Wait.
And those are the first 5.
I just
so
want
we
to
use that.
clarify
we
something.
use that because it's the point that you've used right now.
Yeah.
Because you are now talking about a progressive 10-point agenda implementation, whereby it was very clear at that point that this was stipulated by time. And coming to the end of that period is when we started to hear this talk of progression, of progressiveness. And the examples that continue to be used are those of the president launching projects.
You have to have the money to do things. Remember, 10-point agenda is a spit of the NADCO report. When I start counting what I have witnessed, I'm ticking boxes.
But were those the 10 points? You know, you can
Yes,
witness things that were not in the 10
devolution is
points.
among them. So I'm talking of what is happening in my county.
Okay. Which is supposed to happen anyway when you have county
Exactly,
bosses.
yes.
You
But
didn't need the 10-point agenda for
we
devolution
needed
to be... No. It is constitutionally bound.
Everybody's
Devolution,
right,
and
yes.
that's why you have an election whereby you elect a governor. You didn't need two parties to come together. And this is my question here. Did it need two parties to come together for the Constitution to be followed?
To be implemented, pretty much.
To even be implemented?
Let me remind you, this country since independence, why do we have other counties more developed and not others? So this rubs it in, makes it like deliberate that no county should be lagging behind. So all the youths, the women, people living with disability in those counties that are still lagging behind must put...
Why do they lag behind? I think we need to get to this here. When we're saying that there are counties, 47 of them, and all of them are not at par. But you know what? There's something called equitable share, all right?
But
Senate goes and they lobby for this money. We go to an election where billions of shillings are spent for somebody to be elected. You have a county boss in the name of a governor. They have a deputy governor. They have an entire county assembly who are elected and are paid a salary every month. But now what you're trying to help us understand, and maybe you can please open this up for us to understand, that people are given resources for which are not enough. People are given resources. They've been given resources since 2013. There have been people who have been elected, some people serving 2 terms, some people serving just 1 and not able to. But here we are and we're saying that with the resources that you've been given, going through the electoral process, we still need to nudge you a little bit with this broad-based government for you to do your job. That's
all
an
of us are
indictment.
responsible.
That's an indictment, don't you think?
All of us are responsible. If you come from a county where your governor is not working, you have yourself to blame, not anybody. I am talking of 10-point agenda.
Yes.
In the supplementary budget, we have increased. Every county will get something extra to develop their own little world, their county. So
not
it is
taking into
upon-
consideration what has happened over the last 13 years of
No,
devolution?
it is upon the 190. You know, if you do nothing, when your governor is sleeping, your county assembly members are sleeping, you know, the senator is sleeping, the women rep is sleeping, then it is you to blame, not the government, not anybody. Many times we are used to hovering our fingers on leaders, but the same thumb also asks you, what is your role?
Mheshimiwa,
So
you
we
know-
should be tasked, all of us, to be responsible in development.
So we don't need a broad-based program then. Based on
No,
what
we
you're saying,
needed it. Somebody
Kenyans need
needs
to
to
be
rub it
responsible.
in.
Kenyans need to be responsible enough to choose their leaders right, and if they're not doing what they ought to do, kick them out. You don't need a broad-based government essentially to do the things which you say is not the fault.
Every nation, even America, people come up with organs. Call it whatever you want to call it. In Kenya, it is broad-based because of something. There is a purpose. There is a drive behind it. There's a doctrine that they follow. So every nation,
In a lot of countries, it's
including
called their
Kenya,
constitution.
needs an organization to pace up or to drive the government or whatever institution they want.
Yeah.
to do their job. So we cannot say that broad-based is there and it shouldn't have been there. In fact, to me, it's a plus for Kenyans. Yes, if they were only a little bit positive, many times 90% of all of us, we are negative from the beginning.
Why do you think that is?
See how even me, when I was promoted immediately, somebody who does not even know me, hey, I was roasted for breakfast, fried for lunch, then I was...
Consumed for dinner.
Yes, so somebody who does not know me, you even find people that I personally respected writing on their status, that illiterate woman, she never went to school. Oh my God, now which way is ODM going? And I just said, you cannot evaluate me in 1 day or in 3 months. And compare me with the people who've been there for 8 years and above. So let us try to have some positive vibes on this.
In the spirit of positivity and positive vibes, when you began, you indicated that ODM has been the conscience of the constitution.
Yes.
And to a majority of Kenyans, almost half of the country, they look at ODM as a voice of the people.
Yes.
And it's a voice of the people because of what Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, Joey, what he stood for.
Yes.
That when things are not working, he would not keep silent. He would come out there and ask critical questions. When there are policies or laws that needed to either be amended or, conversations to be strengthened, enhanced, etc., he would send his parliamentarians, and they would go in there and ask accountability questions.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the broad-based government, you have actually even he contributed experts, 4 of them to the government, to be able to support and ensure that things are working, and that mantra of the voice of the people still stays. Things are happening, Mheshimiwa. We are having goons all over the country. Insecurity concerns. People are asking questions. We are not hearing ODM as a party that has been founded on proper demonstrations, sweat and blood of the Kenyan people, asking questions led by Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Fuel prices went up, skyrocketed, and people were, complaining, talking, asking questions. One of your experts actually sits at the apex of that particular ministry. We didn't hear, at least I did not hear, and a few friends of mine who believed that if Baba were here, certain questions would have been asked. Accountability of parliament, things that are happening, including counties, where things are not working effectively. You have senators who belong to your party. Do you think that ODM is still that party that is a darling of the people, the voice that would really speak for the people of Kenya when things are not working?
ODM is, I think you chose not to listen.
Please remind me.
Yes, the whistleblower was Opio Wandai.
What was it though?
He actually noticed that something was off and informed the president. That weekend, I personally went wild and said, Wananchi cannot be suffering, and I'm in broad-based, comfortable. It will be broad-based if Wananchi are happy first. We put Wananchi first. So since Baba died, we have been through a lot. We have been through the valleys and the thorns. And as we continue healing as well, people have imagined that something has gone down. Nothing has gone down. I'm telling you, the women and men that sit to help give direction of the party are very sober people, and they are firm. You might think that we are delaying in showcasing what we are, but they are good. I can trust them to handle anything, anytime for Kenyans.
Let's take a break at this point.
All right.
We're talking with ODM Secretary General Catherine Amaya, and we're asking a number of questions this morning to then be able to look into what the broad-based promise is. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of that when we come back. It's 28 minutes to 10 o'clock. Conversations continue after this. Don't go away.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Traffic traffic.
Still a busy morning, and we're looking at some traffic still on Mombasa Road this morning as you head out towards Capital